I write this on the 5th day of the month of high sun. Fiery skulls peer down from the sky, parting black clouds. Beasts of metal belch smoke, tearing through the ground around them. Blood-soaked feathers slowly fall to the ground as beings of nightmares are carried by darker winds. A skull pressed against the wall of murder stares at me with pits of hate that pass for hollows of where eyes should be. The eyes, they are gates. With great horror, I awoke with burning clarity. When the call of rest takes me every night, that is all I know. The dreams, nay, the nightmares, do not cease. I can no longer ignore them. And yet, I am no hero. I am but a humble scribe. The quill is my weapon. I only hope that what I write reaches those who carry what my heart could not. The gods decree that I write, and I pray. I have written everything I know to be related to these portents in this series of logs. It's all I could gather from the scribes of Candlekeep and beyond. A great darkness is coming, and it claws its way out from Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate, also known as the Grey Harbor, or simply the Gate, rests on the western heartlands of the Sword's Coast, some 40 miles along the river Shonthar. Founded by Baldur, the explorer, when he returned from a voyage, he spent his wealth building around the harbor to give his ships better docking. Baldur left before the walls were finished, however, leaving the farmers around the area to manage his investment. They, however, took advantage of the situation and built walls around their farms instead, becoming wealthy landlords by taxing travelers who passed through the area. These landlords' influence grew such that they became wealthy nobles and taxed ship crews that wanted to dock there. Violence ensued when the captains in turn demanded gold. In the aftermath, a new system of government came about. The city would be ruled by 4 dukes, with one of them to serve as a Grand Duke, whose vote would count for 2 people to serve as a tiebreaker. Below the Council of Dukes is the Parliament of Peers, which is made up of 50 Baldurians. A quarter of them represent the lower city, while the rest are nobles, also known as patriarchs, who represent the upper city. The Parliament convenes daily to deliberate on events and guide the dukes ruling the city. Sadly, Baldur's Gate has a storied connection with the dark god Baal. Just a few years ago, the city saw the terrifying return of the Lord of Murder. Following a number of deaths, one of the city's dukes, Torlin Silvershield, was revealed as the chosen of Baal and underwent a monstrous transformation, turning many citizens into bloodthirsty killers and inspiring a riot and much death before finally being put down by brave adventurers. The last anyone ever heard of Torlin was that he was captured by the Red Wizards of Thay, experimented on, and turned into a white. Even now, murderous echoes ripple through the city and beyond, and reports of unexplainable gruesome killings flow out of Baldur's Gate. The patriarchs are the nobles of Baldur's Gate. They reside in a ward situated atop a hill known as the Upper City. Though there was a time when wealth and power would afford one to join the patriarchs, that time has come to pass. The Upper City is tightly packed to the point that there is no longer any room for it to grow, packed against the walls that made this area so affluent in the first place. Inheritance is the only way to find a place in this exclusive district. Luxury is the hallmark of a patriarch's lifestyle. Though most embrace this as an excuse to live a life of excess, many actually work toward the betterment of the rest of Baldur's Gate. Appearances are everything. It is not unheard of for patriarchs who are actually struggling to double down on their vestiges of wealth in order to make others not see just how much they are struggling. Several gates mark the boundary between the upper and lower city, but one of them stands out from all the others. Baldur's Gate, a landmark so prominent that it serves as the inspiration for the city's own name. It is only through this gate that goods are traded and taxed, an irony given the city's violent history with taxation. The others exist for the patriarch's convenience. Those who are not patriarchs or under their employ must traverse between cities using Baldur's Gate. The upper city is defended by the Watch, the city's elite constables. It is through their ever-vigilant guard that the patriarchs maintain order. The lower city stands pressed against the grey harbour where stone houses stand in various states of quality. Those who reside here are the hard-working folk who keep the city running. Those who do the real work, such as the shipwrights and dock workers. Trade is the lifeblood of Baldur's Gate, and the grey harbour is from whence trade flows. Fog that blinds the sight is as strong as the smell of sea salt here. Those who frequent this place carry lanterns or lamps. Young people often find it easy coin by serving as guides to foreigners in the lower city. Order in most of Baldur's Gate is preserved by the Flaming Fist mercenaries. The bold, the thieving, the vandals, and the violent all find their courage tested by the threat of the mercenaries' brutality. Its numbers are enough to form an army. Many are former adventurers who sought stable pay. Others are merely ruffians. It is allowed to take part in conflicts outside the city, but not against it. Traditionally, the highest ranking officer of the Flaming Fist is one of the dukes. In most cities, a merchant's aspirations rise as high as joining the nobility. In Baldur's Gate, however, one can only seek to emulate the residents of Upper City through wealth and influence. Some who rise high would tear down their own buildings and build manors mirroring their noble counterparts. The patriarchs see these wealthy merchants, who mostly live in the Bloomridge district, with much disdain. Baldur's Gate is not welcoming to those with no coin to their name. Those who cannot afford to live in the lower city settled outside the outskirts of the walls, forming the unofficial Third Ward, the Outer City. Among the poorest of the poor in this ward are tanners, smiths, masons, dryers, and other tradesfolk. The people are disenfranchised with the rest of Baldur's Gate, which is blind and deaf to their plight. Pickpockets are abound, and the more unsavory types will empty the pockets of those who do not watch their coin purses. A noteworthy development in the Outer City is the walled Kalashite district, which formed in the eastern section known as Little Kalimshan. It is run by Kalashite refugees who formed a home away from home for the protection of their culture and their lives. Shops, taverns, and other establishments were constructed along Wyrm's crossing over Shonthar. These buildings were shoddily crafted, organically growing to accommodate their need. Such is the crowding that many of them are held aloft by supports that hang from the sides of the bridge. The locals in the area charge those who want to use the bridge a fee if they seek to cross, lest they be harassed by the hawkers and urchins that infest the area. There is an organization spoken of only in hushed whispers. A study of Baldur's Gate would be incomplete without at least mention of it. The Council does not acknowledge them in any official capacity, but tries to blunt their reach whenever possible. Gangs of the lower city and the outer city all serve under the guild. It is difficult to find the head of this group, and that, among many things, makes it difficult to stamp out this enigmatic and mysterious group.